Virginia Tech was that featured primetime game, everybody in the country was going to watch it because it was one of only 3 games on, as opposed to now you've got the Big 12 game on Fox. This is just on Saturday nights. You got the Big 10 game on NBC, the Big 12 game on Fox. ESPN has a couple of games. American Athletics got Tulane playing somebody on a Saturday night. Like, there's so many games to choose from that you kind of like fall back to just what you're familiar with.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's one of the things that I think the NFL gets right, is that they usually have a game that's a spotlight game. It could be America's Game of the Week, Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, whatever it is. They tend to create those situations where it feels big. Even last night with the Packer game, when it's standalone marquee opponents, or even just standalone in general, it feels big. And the NFL basically like limits supply purposely so that there's demand. When it comes to college football, there is an oversaturation, right? I mean, you go to any given Saturday and you flip through, and there's 6 games on at a time, all of which have recognizable brand names. So I don't mind it. It gives me optionality, but unless it's Wisconsin, unless it's a like a marquee Big Ten team or like a national great matchup like Georgia, Texas. I find that I am less invested, right? Like I'll jump between games, no problem. I'm less invested in any singular game. When it comes to this game for the Wisconsin Badgers versus Minnesota, when it first occurred, I still kind of feel the same way that I do now. I think it's a bit of an indictment on where the game is and where each program is. Wisconsin is not a national marquee brand anymore, and that's sort of been eroding over the last couple of years. And Minnesota pops its head up and then kind of goes back down, but always kind of middles in the Big Ten. That's where Wisconsin finds itself. I think that because of recognition of the rivalry, recognition of the acts, these are recognizable brands still, that they wanted to create some level of, access to it to where it was standalone. But boy, I just think they looked at it and the decision maker said, this game can't, live up to or compete with the, Mississippi states of the world, or Florida, Florida State, Michigan, Ohio State. We need to move it to Black Friday. But it can't even hold compared to Iowa, Nebraska, and Georgia Tech. So I felt like I'm okay with it being on Black Friday. I think 11 a.m. on Black Friday lacks a little bit of juice. I think even 2:30 would have been better because people have half days on Black Friday. 2:30 or the night game would have really made it feel like, okay, there's still a lot of juice in this rivalry, but 11 a.m. on Black Friday, it feels like a little bit of an indictment on the rivalry to me today.
So, but I do think back to, and I'm glad we went down this as one of the many ways we'll talk about Wisconsin and Minnesota today. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, producer Hunter Vaughn. It's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. As we count down to kickoff, Wisconsin and Minnesota coming up at 11 a.m. at Camp Randall Stadium to close out the regular season. I do like, I think back to when I was a kid, and Black Friday, 11 a.m., like Texas A&M was always on at that time. And I loved that was, and then Nebraska-Colorado was on for a while. I loved the Nebraska-Colorado game. See, so this has a chance to, and I think because Wisconsin-Minnesota, when it has typically been played on Saturday of rivalry weekend, it gets buried by Michigan-Ohio State. It gets buried by some of the other, Auburn and Alabama. Like, this is a chance for this game to be featured more on a national scale and to have more of an appreciation with more eyeballs on it for a huge game instead of just being a Big Ten Network 2:30 kickoff on Saturday to close out the regular season. In past years, there have also been major stakes in play when this game's been played. A couple years ago, College GameDay was there with the Big Ten West title on the line in the snow in Minnesota. That was awesome. That was so fun, especially because we crushed Minnesota in that game. That was great. But there have been Big Ten West titles determined by these two teams playing. Wisconsin having a chance to reach the college football playoff, in theory, could be determined in large part by how this game plays in future years.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out this year that we're in that case.
I will say this, that looking back at prior years, just like a quick reflection of the rivalry, I forget that even within the last 7 years, there's been multiple, not only just top 25 matchups, top 10, where both teams are in the top 10. Felt like that had juice, felt like it had a lot of excitement. Maybe if that was the situation this year, it wouldn't feel so it's not stale because it's a fresh new look, but I feel like it lacks the big juice of being on Saturday. But if they were both top 25, if they were both maybe competing for a college football playoff, I think that no matter when the game would be played, it'd be exciting. But maybe you just got two teams that are middling around 500, and a chance for the nation to see them in a food hangover type situation post Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you guys, like, if Wisconsin wasn't just absolute crap like they are right now, would we feel differently about this? I mean, I'm being honest. They're bad.
He ain't wrong.
They almost beat the number one team 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then they didn't show up the next
fluky.
2 weeks. Yeah. So if they were actually good, I would feel totally different about this. Because I'd be like, yeah, let's go. It's Badger football. I don't care when they play.
Anytime, any place, anywhere.
Exactly. Now I'm like, I don't want I don't want all of America to see this.
Well, and I that definitely plays a factor into this. That this is 6-5 Minnesota versus 5-6 Wisconsin. 4-game losing streak. Wisconsin hasn't won in like a month and a half because there's a bye week that was mixed in there too. Like, yes, morale is low. I drove around downtown this morning. I dropped a couple of friends off down where our tailgate is because we were originally going to be on Regent Street and we're not there because it's too cold for our equipment. No juice out there right now. Maybe everybody's going to be late coming this morning, but there is no juice. There is not the electricity in downtown Madison like you would normally have on a game day.
Well, quick question as we land this plane. Compared to prior years when Wisconsin, Minnesota plays at usually a 2:30 time slot, on Saturday. I forget what network usually picks them up. I don't know if it's Big Ten Network.
Big Ten,
or if
it feels like more often than not. ABC had the big one a couple of years ago. Yeah.
So generally speaking, more eyeballs and more viewers today on Black Friday compared to prior years. Yes or no?
Yes.
More people view this game because of the time slot compared to prior years.
I'm going to say yes.
I think so.
I think so too.
And that's what sucks because Twitter is going to be even worse
if
this doesn't go well.
Wisconsin's really fallen off.
Yeah.
I mean, and Hunter will give us a scoreboard update in a little bit here of all the games to come, but I think Oregon State, Boise State, which also, if you think this is rough, 10 a.m. Boise got a kickoff this morning, local time, Mountain.
Painful.
Oof. But Oregon State, Boise State's probably the other great game on at the same time as this one today. Like, yeah, there will be people tuning in to watch Wisconsin, Minnesota because it's on television. And there aren't that many games that are on at this time slot this day, which I love. I love that this game gets to be featured for college football fans around the country. I just wish we had a little better product to provide those fans around the country. Maybe it'll be a great game. We're going to talk plenty about it, plenty at stake for Luke Fickell and the Wisconsin Badgers, including the nation's third longest active bowl streak. Again, awkward time slot today. New experience for all of us fans consuming this game today. It's cold. So many different things to talk about as we continue to count down to Wisconsin and Minnesota. 11 a.m. kickoff at Camp Randall Stadium this morning. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. And we are brought to you in part by Jones Dairy Farm. What a great day to fire up the griddle this morning and get that Jones Dairy Farm, whether it's the bacon or the breakfast sausage. What a day after Thanksgiving to get a great brunch going in time for kickoff today. Jones Dairy Farm prides themselves on making the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage you can buy, and they only use all natural ingredients right here in Fort Atkinson. To learn more about Jones Dairy Farm's promise, visit jonesdairyfarm.com. Jones Dairy Farm, the official breakfast sausage of ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. And if you haven't been to Fort Atkinson to check out where they make all that sausage at the Jones Dairy Farm spot, you got to go check it out. It is a fun experience to go see. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman counting down to kickoff Wisconsin and Minnesota. What if they win and what if they lose? We'll review both scenarios. Coming up next, it's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
The number 7 just got a whole lot luckier because of Pizza Hut's $7 Deal Lovers menu. Enjoy all your Pizza Hut favorites from pizza, pasta, boneless wings, melts, cheese sticks, desserts, and so much more. All for $7 each when you buy 2 or more. With this lucky deal, you don't have to choose between great taste and great value. You can have both at Pizza Hut. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
November savings are stirring at Metro Kia of Madison. The 2024 Kia Sportage is available with 0% APR financing for 48 months, $20.83 per thousand borrowed. You can also check out the 2024 Kia Sorrento at 0% APR financing for 48 months, $20.83 cost per thousand. Browse their inventory at MetroKiaMadison.com. That's MetroKiaMadison.com, and hurry into Metro Kia Madison today before these November savings fall away.
You're probably being overwhelmed with information about semaglutide, the game-changing FDA-approved weight loss treatment. Jim Rutledge here. I was like you. I didn't know what it was until I saw Dr. Nessa Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. He can walk you through the benefits. He can tell you if it's right for you, and then you could come up with a plan to change your life with a workout plan and semaglutide. With that plan, I dropped from 20% body fat to 10% body fat, and I dropped over 20 pounds of fat and kept my muscle. You can do the same thing. Go see Dr. Nessa Rodriguez at Carbon World Health.
Kringle, all I want for Christmas is you.
Dad!
What?
We talked about this. Yeah, your jingle for your Kringle entry last year was so lame that Racine Danish Kringle banned you from their contest.
I thought it was only a one holiday season ban.
It was a lifetime ban.
Well, I guess I'm out, but here's how you can enter our ESPN Wisconsin Racine Danish Kringle Jingle for Your Kringle contest on Wilde and Tausch. Submit your own original jingle to ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Then we'll pick the most creative songs, and our grand prize winner will get Kringle for a year. Make sure you include Racine Danish Kringle. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition in your jingle. If you don't want to sing, but you still want to celebrate the holidays with Racine Danish Kringle, call 800-4DANISH or visit Kringle.com and order their all-new Eggnog Holiday Kringle.
Racine Danish Kringle, such a tasty, yummy treat. With a flaky crust and sweet icing, it's the best thing you can eat.
Oh, like that's so much better than mine.
Well, at least we're not off key.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
I'd love to be in a game like that. I'd love to coach a game like that. Oh, they may not see a pass in the second half.
Subscribe to the Great Dane Huddle podcast on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light, where the mountains are blue if you're drinking one outside in downtown Madison today. It is cold. Feels like 3 degrees outside as we get set for Wisconsin and Minnesota at Camp Randall Stadium. Feels like about 71 here in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison, because we were too chicken to be outside in the cold today because we thought all of our equipment would die on us. So it's Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, producer Hunter Vaughn, hanging out with you indoors as we count down to kick off for Wisconsin and Minnesota, the regular season finale, and we hope not the finale at all of the Wisconsin football season. We'll talk about that in a moment. First, I want to remind you, ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brought to you in part by Bruner Realty. Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop waiting. Now is the time to get housed. For over 30 years, Bruner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area, including for me. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Stacy Bruner, a former Bucky Badger at the University of Wisconsin. He was great to work with. Contact him. Get in touch. He truly cares to find you your great home that you're looking for in the Madison area. Contact the team, BrunerRealtyInc.com. Thanks to Stacy. I wonder if he's out at our tailgate having a great time this morning. I sure hope he is. He'd be having a good time out in the cold as we count down to kickoff. Wisconsin, Minnesota. All right, Brad, 2 questions for you. Here's part 1. What if Wisconsin wins today? How do we feel on the postgame show at Monks in Middleton after if Wisconsin gets a win to extend the nation's 3rd longest active bowl streak and finish the season 500?
You know, I'm an analogy guy, Jesse. So when I used to work in finance and we have to pick investments for people, you would like to choose investments that have really good upside and not a lot of downside, okay? You want to avoid investments that have not a lot of upside, but a lot of downside. I feel like this game is a lot like the second option. Not a lot of upside and a lot of downside. So let's get to the upside, the minimal upside.
Yeah.
You say if the Badgers win.
They win today. Yeah, they by a touchdown or 2. You feel pretty good about the performance today,
I feel better. I enter the postseason knowing that extra practices going into bowl season will help develop these young guys, and it keeps the bowl streak going. It sort of just clips that low water mark that the Wisconsin program has set. So I will feel good about the streak continuing. I'll always feel good about having the axe, and I'll feel a little bit of sense of that there has been some pride and some heartbeat in the DNA of this team. Because quite honestly, I think Minnesota is a slightly better team. But if you got a heartbeat for this state and this program, like Fickell and these players should arrive to this game with their hair on fire, knowing how much is at stake. So if they win, and if they win convincingly, or even by a field goal, whatever it is, I'll feel slightly better, but it won't compensate for how much of a disaster this season was. It really won't. 6-6, you'd expected improvement from last season. You're going to go to a bowl game, which is now just basically preseason for next year. So I'll celebrate that, and I'll walk away with my head up high, but it won't compensate for how bad of a year this was and how embarrassing moments there were, particularly Nebraska and Iowa. So I'm rooting hard for a win because that downside will be pretty down.
And now let's talk about that. Part 2 of the question. So if Wisconsin wins, they extend the bowl streak. You feel like there was some life. They were able to rise to the occasion for the regular season finale. And even though they didn't win any of the marquee games against big ranked opponents, they were able to at least maintain the axe and extend that streak. And there's some things that you can be proud of. What if they lose? What if the streak is snapped? What if Minnesota wins the axe? And what if this disappointing second season under Luke Fickell, where Phil Longo's fired a couple of weeks ago, what if it ends with not being bowl eligible and finishing under 500 on a 5-game losing streak?
This is the downside that is extremely painful. It will cap off the most embarrassing Wisconsin football season in 30-plus years, since before Barry Alvarez took over. The years that Wisconsin didn't make a bowl game, 2003, I believe, or 2001, whatever started the streak. I guess that'd be 22, so it was like 2001 or 2002.
I think it was 2001.
2001.
Yeah.
Okay, they won 5 games, and then in 1996, they won 5 games. Didn't make a bowl game either of those times. The difference is Barry Alvarez, at that point, had a deposited goodwill of Rose Bowl victories a couple years before that. You felt like the team peaked. They had all these seniors. They went to the Rose Bowl. They got the win in 94, 99, and 2000. So those were in the shadow of those years where those teams peaked from like a senior class, a leadership standpoint, dudes going to the NFL. And then they had to just basically refill the coffers. And that took a little bit longer than I think Coach Alvarez expected. But the reality is those were less painful because of what Badger fans got to experience from an extremely high watermark with what this program did under Barry Alvarez. There's no question of DNA. There was no question of direction. It was a hiccup in an otherwise strong life of the Wisconsin Badger football program. The reason why this would be the most embarrassing, painful season of Wisconsin Badger football since before Barry Alvarez took over is because all those things you don't have to go on. There's been no deposits of successful seasons under Luke Fickell or even in recent memory. Let's be honest. We're talking about pre-COVID before this team did anything at all from a national standpoint. You feel like you lack direction. You feel like you don't know who this team is. You don't know if any of these recruits are even going to be around in a transfer portals type situation. There's no DNA. There's no trust in this process. You still feel like you are grasping at thin air, trying to figure out who you are going forward. So this would be the lowest, most hopeless, most frustrating, embarrassing season if this were to happen. And I don't think I'm speaking hyperbolic.
Wow. I don't know if I agree with you, but that's a heck of a convincing argument.
I believe in that firmly.
So first of all, just to double check on this. So Barry Alvarez did lead the Badgers to back-to-back Rose Bowls following the 98 and 99 seasons. It was the 99 and 2000 Rose Bowls. Of course, Wisconsin won both of those Rose Bowls. Then 2000, they played in the Sun Bowl. I think UCLA was the Sun Bowl. I remember watching that. My parents had a conversion van. I think we were driving up north, and I was watching it on the little tube TV in the back of the conversion van.
How about that?
That's
a picture.
The Sun Bowl, yes. 2001, the last time Wisconsin did not make a bowl game, finishing 5-7.
2 years after the second Rose Bowl victory.
So it was
the Heisman Trophy
winner. They won the second Rose Bowl. They made the Sun Bowl the next year. Then they did not make a bowl game. They've made a bowl every year since that.
Okay.
So yes, Barry Alvarez had already won the Rose Bowls, had developed the program. Also, that was actually 3 Rose Bowls because he had also won the one in 94 as well. So all that considered, that's a very convincing argument to make. Here's what I would push back a little bit on. While I think it's fair to question everything going on with the Wisconsin football program, should they not win today, didn't we know coming into this year it still wasn't going to be perfect? Didn't we know coming into this year? I remember standing when it was 100 degrees warmer out on Regent Street on August 30th or whatever day that was when we opened against Western Michigan to start this season. I said, all I'm really looking for this year, keep the bowl streak going and win one of the marquee games. Get that signature win this year against USC, Oregon, Penn State, or Alabama. That's all I was asking for this year. I didn't have college football playoff aspirations. I didn't have Big Ten championship aspirations this year. It's year 2 with a new head coach. You're still developing the program. You're still trying to figure out what the vision is long term. And obviously there have been more hiccups than you would have expected this year, firing Phil Longo among them. But I don't know if I can say it's a total setback to say there's no direction and no idea where the program's going. I think there were some things that were learned this year about the shape of the offense and what works and what doesn't. So I don't know if I can ride with you saying that it's the most embarrassing season of Wisconsin football ever.
I think especially with what Coach Fickell promised when he took the job is that is what this team is going to competing for. And now we're 2 years in and we're not even close to that. We're further away than we've ever been, it seems like, from competing at a national level. And then I think when we started this season, I agree. I wanted one signature win. Didn't happen. We got close. I'll get some credit for that, but didn't happen. And I figured to at least win 2 out of 3 trophy games and get 8 wins. I thought that was a fair step in the right direction. We know none of that is going to happen. We haven't won any of the trophy games yet. And so if you were to lose this game, you're going to go 0 for 3 trophy games. You're going to not go win any of the signature games. All the teams you beat, let's be honest, they're bad. They're bad teams. So
South Dakota would be the best win.
It might be the
Maybe
best
Rutgers.
win. And when it comes to looking forward, you've learned some things, but you've learned what's not working. It's not like you've learned this is working for us. So that's where I think, and not only that, I think of it looking going forward where it's okay, you got a top 20 recruiting class. You just got this quarterback, this DN that, decommitted from Michigan. That's awesome. Can we develop them? Can we keep them? I don't even know if that's the case anymore. And Tausch was on KBN, I believe it was on Tuesday. And we talked about Wisconsin Badgers, and he said transfer portal is more important than high school recruiting. Just plain and simple. You are a year-by-year team, and so year by year, this team is struggling.
Hunter Vaughn, you get the final word on this conversation.
I don't think it matters either way if they win or lose this game with how embarrassing their losses have been this year. other than that Oregon loss, like all of them have been embarrassing.
The Penn State loss wasn't embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
It was kind of embarrassing fashion. The way they fell apart.
It told me what I needed to know about Braden Locke in the future of the program. Like that's what I felt I learned in that game, and what I felt I learned on the final drive against Oregon.
Okay.
I learned more about Braden Locke than I did about like the state of the program. I thought in those games.
Okay, still, like the program's not in a good spot. Even if they win this game, program's still not in a good spot. Yeah, it helps a little bit. You get some extra practice, but I still view Luke Fickell's job security as he's got to show something when they're on the road at Alabama next year, because if they get just walloped in that game, I don't know if he makes the plane ride back. And like that's the problem that we're going to be facing here. If they don't look good early next year, we're going to be talking about #fire Fickell.
Yeah, I mean
that's not fair.
We're all lifetime
It's not
Badger
fair,
fans
but that's
here,
what
right?
it is.
Like I played for the team. I was a lifetime Badger fan. Have you guys ever felt so low? I personally haven't.
One other time.
It'll be especially if they lose. But Jesse, keep going.
Remember that September hottest game ever played at Camp Randall Stadium back in 2018 when BYU came into town and stuck it to Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yep. That was really what the downfall, if you want to say the downfall of the program in the last 6 years. Like that was the moment to me that stands out. But that was
the year before. They were undefeated
into the Big Ten championship game.
You could say, that was just an anomaly. Well, I think we're seeing too many negative trends right now.
But I'm just thinking expectations and where I thought Wisconsin was in the national landscape, then like being a top 5 team going into the following season, and you can't even beat BYU at home. And
that's
where the program has gone since then. 19, they bounced back, made the Big Ten championship game, gave Ohio State a heck of a game in 19. But besides that, especially since Jonathan Taylor's been gone, what has it been? And so that seems to be, to me, like that was the turning point for Wisconsin football. And I'm hoping that Luke Fickell still has the vision and has the system in place that he can turn that thing back around. But I think it's fair for Hunter and for many others to question whether he has the ability to do that, whether he has the vision and the capabilities and the resources in place at the school to be able to build what he wants to build. I think it's totally fair to question that. I still think, even though college football has changed, I would still give Fickell 2 more years. I think you get one get-out-of-jail-free card by firing Phil Longo, and if you want to make a change at defensive coordinator, depending on how today goes, like I understand if, like, okay, you get one reset. You get one, this is your pass. Like, okay, you made the wrong hire out of the gates with the coordinators. Figure it out, reset, rebuild, 2 more years to figure it out. That's still the plan and the approach that I would have. And I also don't think we should underestimate a couple of different things about the football team this year. We'll talk more about that coming up. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brought to you in part by Canopy Wealth Management, where they carry a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every single day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believes that values matter and strengthen their communities. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, producer Hunter Vaughn. We're going to continue the conversation about why I think there should be a little pause on the judgment and the accusations that I think much of the fan base has made toward this team this year. We're going to talk more about that coming up next as we continue to count to, and also let's pick up the spirits a little bit. It's a game day in downtown Madison, guys. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Axe Day. Let's go. It's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
Can't wait.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
November savings are happening right now at Metro Ford of Madison. With 223 new vehicles available for purchase, qualified buyers can get 90 days deferred payments. The 2024 Ford Explorer is available with 1.9% APR financing for 66 months, $15.54 per thousand borrowed. The 2024 Ford Mach-E is available with 0% APR financing for 72 months. Make sure you hurry in to Metro Ford of Madison today.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Get more per pour at the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company is a Madison original, brewing award-winning craft beers for 30 years. And now, it's time for their bigger and better happy hour. Every Monday through Thursday from 3 until 6 p.m., enjoy 20-ounce pints of the Great Dane's flagship beers for only $3. From Crop Circle Wheat to the Old Glory APA. Head to one of their 4 locations, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, and East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Join the Madison Area Sports Commission live and in person for Good Morning Sports, the heritage behind Strongman. On December 4th, meet 2 Strongman legends, 4-time World's Strongest Man, Magnus Ver Magnuson, and Lynn Morehouse, owner of Train Strongman. Registration donations benefit MASC Youth Grant to get kids into sports. Join us at the Sheridan Madison on December 4th and register at madison.com/GMS. This event is sponsored by American Family Insurance and Oak Bank, supported by ESPN Madison and produced by the Madison Area Sports Commission.
The Jones family has its rules, just like any other family. Only difference is, ours are about making the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage you can buy. One of our rules, we only use all natural ingredients. It's a mandate we've followed since the 1840s, and we'll continue to do so for generations to come. Right here in Fort Atkinson. I'm Philip Jones. To learn more about the rules that make sure my family provides your family with the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage, visit jonesdairyfarm.com.
Wisconsin Badgers legend Barry Alvarez joins ESPN Madison.
It's not one win get you over the hump. It's consistency.
Don't miss Barry Alvarez on the Great Dane Huddle every week on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand. From L.A. to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
What is up, Wisconsin? I'm Hunter Vaughn. We've got 2 games that'll be happening today in the Big Ten. First, of course, the Wisconsin Badgers hosting the Minnesota Golden Gophers at 11 o'clock at Camp Randall. The Badgers are 1-point favorites in this one. They need a win to get to bowl eligibility and be 6-6 on the year. Minnesota already bowl eligible at 6-5 on the year. Then tonight, Nebraska at Iowa at 6:30 at Kinnick Stadium. The Hawkeyes are 7-4 on the year, taking on the Cornhuskers at 6:30. The rest of the games in the Big Ten, they happen on Saturday. Of course, you've got Michigan and Ohio State, as well as the battle for the jeweled shillelagh with number 5 Notre Dame at USC, and Purdue, Indiana as well as Washington at Oregon. finishing off the Big Ten slate on Saturday. In the top 25, some other games that are happening today. Oregon State goes to number 11 Boise State. That's an 11 o'clock kickoff. Also at 11 o'clock, Oklahoma State at number 25 Colorado. Then you also have Mississippi State at number 14 Ole Miss. That game kicks off at 2:30. And then the nightcap, Georgia Tech at number 7 Georgia.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
Black Friday special, ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Madison, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and of course, Wisconsin on demand. Jesse Nelson, former Badgers punter Brad Nortman, producer Hunter Vaughn with you in the Everlight Solar Studio because it's too dang cold for us to be out on Regent Street. Quite frankly, I wanted to be out there. The equipment we didn't think would survive, so we ended up coming back into the Everlight Solar Studio today. And for those who are headed downtown today, I hope they're taking advantage of the best deal in sports. From our friends at Liberty Station, they run a game day shuttle program during home games in Madison all football season long. They've done it for a few years in a row now. I would expect it to be back next year as well. Take advantage of this as you're making your plans for next year. For just $15, you get a Coors Light in hand and a round-trip ride to and from Camp Randall. Brad, how many times do we drive downtown? You're like, where am I going to park today?
All the time.
You got to try and squeeze parallel parking in a neighborhood somewhere. You got the college kids backing you in for $30, and you're parked in until the people in front of you move later at night. You're stuck there all day. Don't do that. Just go to Liberty Station. Take the shuttle in $15, and you get a Coors Light to go with it. It's amazing. All starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse. By the way, their food's incredible, too. The official caterer of ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay at our tailgate, where people are enjoying it today down on Regent Street. Liberty Station, located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road. All right, so a couple of things to dive into here, and it's fitting that we have the official injury report listed here pre-game at this juncture, because I did want to touch on this momentarily as well, based on what our conversation had taken us in our previous segment. So we were talking about what if the Badgers win and what if the Badgers lose today, and the morale that would be down for the program, and the questions that would come for Luke Fickell and the entire trajectory of the program if Wisconsin does not win today. Injury report is out. Hunter Wohler, the leader of the Wisconsin Badgers defense, which I think was very noteworthy for the performance of the team last week against Nebraska. Hunter Wohler, not listed on the injury report today. How about that? My guy from Muskego High School, Hunter Wohler, inspired by the Warriors playing for a state title last week, said, you know what? It's senior day. I'm not going down without playing today. We're going to win this one today. Brad, I think this is a major development for the Badgers in their scope to have a chance to get a win today against Minnesota at Camp Randall.
Yeah, Hunter Wohler is a unique talent. I mean, he's the guy that's going to be playing on Sundays next year. You know he's impactful because he's in every play. He's in every tackle. The teams tend to throw away from him, and if they don't, he finds his way to either ball hawk or be on the play. But then you especially see it when he was out, man. When he was out afterward in that Nebraska game, not only was the game kind of trending in that direction, that just broke it open. These guys had very little ability to slow down Nebraska on run or pass. And they're going to need that today because this Minnesota team is no joke. I mean, they're not, Alabama, but they're stout offensive line, a lot of returning starters from last year. Taylor, their running back, is solid. And Brosmer, he's a quarterback that is an upgrade from Callie McManus from last year. He's not going to make many mistakes. I mean, he's not going to wow you, but he's not going to make many mistakes. He's like a classic Wisconsin quarterback.
A game manager.
Quality starting quarterback.
Scott Tolzien out there for the Minnesota today.
And you can win with a guy like Scott Tolzien. So even more so why Hunter Wohler being back there to be disruptive, heavy-handed hits. It's going to be critical to have him play and have him play well for this Wisconsin Badgers team to get a win.
You were teammates with Tolzien in Madison, right?
I sure was.
Your paths crossed.
Yeah, all through his My first 3 years was Scott Tolzien, and my final year was Russell Wilson. But yeah, old Scotty Tolzien, he's a good dude, easy to root for. He's just a classic Wisconsin quarterback, student of the game, accurate, calm presence, gym rat. I mean, all the things, right?
A lot of cliches when describing Scott Tolzien, but all good stuff,
all
as
good
opposed
things.
to some of the ways we've described some of the Badger quarterbacks recently.
Yeah.
But so here's what I wanted to talk about. So last week, I didn't get a chance to join your post-game show. We were getting ready for volleyball and all that kind of fun stuff. And short week this week. Didn't really dive in on Wildy and Tausch either. Normally in this time slot to talk about the Badger game. Tausch probably wanted to avoid that as well for fair reason. So anytime, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers for a moment. Bear with me with this.
Okay.
If the Packers were missing Jordan Love and who's their best defensive player? Jair Alexander?
Xavier McKinney,
yeah. If the Packers were missing Jordan Love and Xavier McKinney in the same game, would you expect the Green Bay Packers to win against any team that they're playing? Or would you expect them to look any decent against the team that they're playing?
Well, they are 3-0 with Malik Willis.
Fair, but...
The Cowboys have won back-to-back with
right.
Cooper Rush.
Get the Cowboys fan out of here.
Maybe San Francisco against the 49ers the other day, and you see how different of a team they are without Purdy, Bosa.
Great example. So Brock Purdy's gone. Nick Bosa's gone. How did the 49ers look against the Green Bay Packers
Not their
on
usual
Sunday?
self.
The Badgers last week were in that exact situation. I don't think we should downplay that back-to-back seasons, Wisconsin's primary starting quarterback has missed significant time. And that has disrupted the plan that I think Luke Fickell has had in place for his teams going into these seasons. If Tyler Van Dyke had started every game this year and been fully healthy all season long, and we didn't have to go to Braden Locke to start, 8 games? And play the majority of 9 because he stepped in after the first drive against Alabama. If Tyler Van Dyke was the quarterback all season long, I think we're talking about a different Wisconsin football season this year. If Tanner Mordecai had stayed healthy all of last season and Braden Locke didn't have to step in the middle of the season, I think we're talking about a different team last year than the results that we saw. So I don't think we should diminish. Injuries are never a full reason or excuse for why a team plays poorly. Every team deals with them. But when you have an injury at a significant position in back-to-back years, the way that Wisconsin has had, I think we should give this coaching staff and this program just a little benefit of the doubt that Braden Locke was not supposed to be the guy this year. I know Phil Longo said 1-1A in Platteville at training camp this year, but obviously Phil Longo's not here anymore. I don't know if we can take everything that he said fully seriously.
Yeah, I can buy that. The difference between the Brock Purdy to San Francisco or Jordan Love is those guys are high quality quarterbacks. Those are established starters that are game changing when they're in the lineup. We don't know that about Van Dyke because it's not like the offense was stratospheric in those first couple games with him. They were pretty mid, as the kids say.
But we also heard both broadcasts on, I think they were FS1 both games. They were saying, well, Wisconsin's purposely not putting some stuff on film right now. They're saving it for Alabama. And I believe that. I do believe that was the case.
To an extent, I guess.
But when your quarterback gets hurt in the first drive, that plan goes, crumple it up, throw it in the garbage, and figure it out.
I guess it just depends on how you want to look at all this. If you're a glass half full kind of person when it comes to Coach Fickell and this program, I think you can make that argument. I agree with that. I just think that Van Dyke, with the exception of 1 year at Miami, he was okay. And then they brought him here in the transfer portal, and he was okay. I don't know if he's making up 32 points at Iowa or 20-something against Nebraska. Mordecai last year, maybe you don't lose to Indiana. Maybe you don't lose to Northwestern. But I don't know. I just don't think that a quarterback of his caliber, which is better than Braden Locke, he wouldn't be the starter if he wasn't better than Braden Locke. I just don't know if that's going to be program changing. Maybe he'd get 1 win. I'll give you 1 win. Maybe they'd be 6-5. They'd extend the bowl streak. I don't know what win that would be because Iowa and Nebraska beat them so handedly, and they weren't necessarily super competitive in any of the signature games, maybe Oregon. But it's not like you should.
Penn State, they were right there.
Yeah.
USC, they had a lead at halftime. They just blew in the second half. They had opportunities there.
But even if
those are all Braden Locke
even
games.
if you're holding some things back for Bama against Western Michigan and South Dakota, you should score 40+. And they didn't do that with ease. They were down in those games late at some point in them. And we were kind of left like, wow, this is supposed to be this upgraded offense. So I wasn't super impressed thinking it'd be a game changer.
And also, Jesse, to your the analogy of the 49ers, the 49ers weren't really embarrassed in that game without Brock Purdy. They still looked like a competent football team. There's been times where I haven't been able to say that about either side of the ball for Wisconsin.
Well, true, but they looked awful competent against the number one team in the country 2 weeks ago. We were singing the praises of the team 2 weeks ago. We were singing the praises through 3 quarters against Penn State.
I think that was more about, that says more about Oregon not taking Wisconsin seriously, and also then the state of Wisconsin, that someone is going on the road 3 time zones over and doesn't even take them seriously. That's the state where this program's at.
The last time Brad and I did a post-game show together, Locktober was in full swing after the win against the Northwestern Wildcats. Rutgers. Northwestern is not very good, I understand. Rutgers is a competent team. Wisconsin went and took care of business in Piscataway earlier this year. There have been a lot of moments of competency this year, and they've played well against some of the best competition on their schedule. The embarrassing factor here comes in against Nebraska and Iowa. Those are the two that stand out, and I think, Brad, your best argument, and Hunter, yours as well, for why there would be questions about the trajectory of the program moving forward. The best argument is if they lose today, they don't win against Nebraska, Iowa, or Minnesota in the same season, then you got to start to question what's going on with this football team.
Which really are historical measuring sticks that you'd usually ace. I mean, the Badgers went how many years beating Minnesota, and I know Minnesota's improved, been a little bit more back and forth, but you would always presume Wisconsin's a better team than Minnesota, should get the wins, or at least that should be our expectation. Nebraska, it's been 12 years since Nebraska beat Wisconsin. That changed, and Iowa, that's always a tough game. I can understand losing to Iowa, but you got shellacked by Iowa. So I think that's what's the hard thing, right? You look at them and they play Oregon and they play close and they have 2 chances to win and they don't get it done. The defense looks good and the offense looks bad. The very next week, the defense looks horrible at Nebraska and the offense looks okay. So you just don't know what this team is getting, which goes back to I don't know what this team does consistently well. I just really don't. And until we have an answer on that, it's hard to pick them to win. It's hard to go into a game like this thinking, oh, yeah, well, I know it's Minnesota. I know Minnesota's playing pretty well, but at least we know Wisconsin can do this, which gives us a chance to win. I don't know what that fill in the blank thing is of what Wisconsin does well, which gives us a hard time predicting how they're going to do it any given Saturday or Black Friday.
The Badgers are listed as 1-point favorites against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, according to ESPN Bet for today's game. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, producer Hunter Vaughn. We're brought to you in part by Starion Bank. At Starion Bank, experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona, and learn more online at starionbank.com. They didn't bring us back the Starion Bank broadcast booth that we're normally in out on Regent Street. I wonder if they set it up anyway, since we're not out there with
just
the
a couple
cold
of
temperatures.
Phantom hosts out there.
Just maybe making an extra bar with some Coors Lights for all the people that are out at the tailgate today on Regent Street. Just set up that Starion Bank broadcast booth. I miss it. We appreciate Starion Bank being part of ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day all season long. Coming up next, we'll play Two Truths and a Lie. But wait a minute. There's no fans here in the Everlight Solar Studio. Brad, what are we going to do? Hunter Vaughn's going to test us. We're the contestants for Two Truths and a Lie this time around. Who's the liar? Hunter 1, Hunter 2, or Hunter 3? We're going to find out next as we count down to kickoff Wisconsin, Minnesota, Black Friday, ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Pizza Hut's wings are the best thing to happen to pizza night since, well, pizza. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Big Boneless Wing Bundle. For only $15.99, enjoy 16 crispy boneless wings in 2 different flavors, 2 dipping sauces, and a double order of fries. The wings are sauced and tossed to perfection and available in 9 flavors like honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and sweet chili. It's the perfect bundle for game days, girls' nights, family night, or any tailgate party. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get house.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
With the holidays around the corner, why not check the Badger fan in your life off the list early? Take advantage of Black Friday deals on Badger tickets and give the gift of an unforgettable experience with discounts on Badger men's and women's basketball, hockey, and wrestling tickets, and a winter full of exciting home matchups. There's something for every Badger fan. Visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS to explore all the Badger Black Friday deals and to secure your seats. uwbadgers.com or 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Looking to kickstart a healthier lifestyle? Prairie Athletic Club has everything you need, and now's the perfect time to join the pack. Sarah Tauscher here, and for a limited time, you can save $30 per month for your first 6 months and enjoy 3 months of hot yoga for free. Don't wait. Your healthiest lifestyle starts now. Join today and discover why the pack is consistently voted the best place to work out. Visit prairieathletic.com today. Prairie Athletic Club, family fun community.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to join in on the fun with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when your picks hit, you get your money in as quick as 15 minutes. And you can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
ESPN Wisconsin has the players, and now we have the coach.
They better get season tickets right now because before long, they probably won't be able to.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez. Mondays on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some hallelujahs to the big man in the sky.
Brad Nortman, come on down.
I'm seeing Price is Right on because the game's going to be on CBS, so we're getting ready. So we put CBS on. It's Price is Right, baby. It feels good. I'm telling you, this brings back all the feels of being homesick on a Tuesday when you're 14 years old and you put on Price is Right, and everything just feels a little bit better.
They've really changed a lot with The Price is Right. Been a minute since I've watched this show.
They have. I wonder how the whole inflation situation has changed The Price is Right. It has been too long since I've watched this beautiful show.
Well, we'll see if anyone's going to bid $1, and we'll see how we fare in our version of a Price is Right game here on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman. Believe it or not, we're counting down to Wisconsin and Minnesota, but we're also counting down by pre-gaming with The Price is Right on CBS. 11 a.m. kickoff coming up for Wisconsin and Minnesota on that national network. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brought to you in part by Everlight Solar. Save money and help save the planet. Ditch the energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit EverlightSolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Brad Nortman, Jesse Nelson, come on down. You're the next contestants on Two Truths and a Lie.
Who's telling the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
And who is a dirty, rotten, no-good liar?
You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther.
Two Truths and a Lie on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment, the premier entertainment and event services company in southern Wisconsin.
It's no mountain climber game, but it is pretty good.
It is pretty good. And I hate to bring this up every year. Not every year. I'm doing this myself. I was committed to Minnesota for like 4 months. So I might know some Minnesota knowledge. Now, to be fair, Wisconsin didn't offer me. They had an offer out to another punter. I was unsure if they were ever going to do it. I thought to myself, whoa, I can punt at a Big Ten university. I'll take it. But I got my mind right, and eventually they did offer. And I went to Wisconsin. So we'll see if that helps today, Hunter Vaughn.
I don't know if it's going to help today.
Okay.
We're going to go right into this with fact number 1. Minnesota's only Rose Bowl win was in 1961.
61. Okay, that's a while ago. I don't know if they've ever won a Rose Bowl.
Well, they had some really good seasons. They won some national championships in the 50s and 60s. Okay.
All right.
Number 2, head coach PJ Fleck's motto is row the boat. So speaking of rowing, since 2014, as a team, Minnesota has never finished ahead of Wisconsin in women's rowing.
Oh, come on.
I don't know anything about rowing.
Well, row the boat,
Women's
dude.
rowing, especially.
Women's rowing.
Well,
Not that
men's isn't a
women's rowing.
Big Ten sport. So.
Who do you think will be? Well, they can't be that good at rowing if their lakes are frozen all the time.
That's
up
true.
there.
That's a handicap that they have to figure
It is
out.
further north.
Finally, Green Bay Packers GM Brian Gutekunst.
Yeah.
His father John was the Minnesota head coach from 1986 to 1991.
I feel like I would know that. When Goody was hired a few years ago, like we talked a lot about that guy. I know he was a scout for somebody in Wisconsin for a long time, one of the UW schools. I feel like we would know if Brian Gutekunst's dad had been the head coach of Minnesota.
Yeah, I feel like that would have come out as well. The second one, I have no ability to make a judgment.
Right,
on.
yeah, that could be a lie.
I feel like we just kind of passed that one because we can't really decipher anything.
Wisconsin's
from
a rowing juggernaut, though, right? Like we're not like Harvard, but we're pretty doggone good in the Harvard of the Midwest when it comes to rowing, is my understanding.
So it's probably true that they have not finished above Wisconsin, right? Because that was the statement.
Yeah,
They
I
have
feel
not
like that'd be a fun flex we would like to
Yeah.
post about. Yeah,
And we're trying to get wins today, so that would be a nice little victory.
Hunter's not that negative.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, I don't know. They won a bunch of national championships.
Well, if you said they were good in the 50s and 60s, I'm guessing 61 lines up with that timeline that they could have.
But he said the
won
only
the
Rose Bowl victory, right?
Yeah.
Only one.
I mean, I don't remember them ever being there. I'm going to say I want to go with number 3.
Okay.
I want to go with
that's
number
the lie.
3. Yeah, I don't think Goody's dad was the head coach at Minnesota.
Okay, I'll follow
There's
you.
a lot of pressure when you play this game.
Yeah,
Usually,
I know,
I
this
like
is-
asking the questions.
I know. I like knowing the truth of the lie. It's a lot of power.
Oh, they're playing the card game on Price is Right. I love that game.
So we're going with number 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
number 3. Yeah.
Nope.
Oh!
Nope. John Gutekunst, the head coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers from
is that-
86 to
Get
91.
How has that not been more talked about? That
That's-
Goody's dad was the head coach at Minnesota.
5 years. It's a long time, too.
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't very good. He was 29 and 36 and 2. So that's
that's
why
why.
it was only 5 years.
Okay. Oh.
So it's the first one then. That's got to be the lie.
No, they won
What?
the Rose Bowl in 61. They
What?
beat UCLA 21-3. Their only Rose Bowl win. They're 1-2 in the Rose Bowl.
Am I
the
mistaken?
rowing question was the one that we messed up.
Yep, this
Come
last year, the
on.
Big Ten championship at Devil's Lake, Minnesota finished one spot ahead of Wisconsin for the first time in a decade.
That is utterly dastardly, Hunter. Dastardly. Am I wrong that Minnesota won a bunch of national championships? But
They did.
They just didn't go via the Rose Bowl route?
Correct. Yeah, so it was weird. Like their national championships, it wasn't like they didn't win them through the Rose Bowls. And I believe a bunch of them were under then would become The OC for that team was Bud Wilkerson, and then he went on and won a bunch of national championships for Oklahoma turned them into the program they were, who then turned Texas into the program they were with Darrell Royal, his OC. So Minnesota is like the tree that started Oklahoma and Texas being good at football.
Hunter Vaughn, the depth of your football knowledge, remind me to never underestimate it.
Just college football.
That is unbelievable.
I got to admit, I took a little bit of a day after Thanksgiving nap during that, and I was watching if Millard was going to win the card game here.
Millard?
Yeah, Millard, I think, is her day. I can't really tell.
Sure it's not Mildred?
No, I can't. All right, whatever. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. That was Two Truths and a Lie, our version of The Price is Right. Brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment. Planning events has never been easier. Thanks to Celebrations Entertainment. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more fun. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment. Fun, memorable events. Jeffrey's got to be out at our tailgate today from Celebrations Entertainment. The Drew Carey of Celebrations Entertainment is Jeffrey from Celebrations. He is so much fun. He does a great job with everything that he does, including being part of our tailgates for several years in a row. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman. Gosh, Wildy and Tausch like clock management here on the show. What are we doing? Coming up next, we're going to continue the countdown to kick off. What does today mean for the state of the Wisconsin football program? Badgers, Gophers, Axe Day, Black Friday. Don't go anywhere. It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
Black Friday is Cash Friday
at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
On Friday, November 29th, starting at 5 p.m., 18 winners will each take home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500 in our Cash Friday promotion. And at 8 p.m., one winner will take home the $40,000 grand prize.
Plus, November 29th is Ho Chunk Day.
And we're celebrating by giving the first 500 guests visiting our Rewards Club booth
$25 in rewards play.
Cash Friday is a holiday tradition at
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle it as best you can to be the best.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Behind 3 first-half touchdowns, the Packers easily dispatching of the Dolphins on Thanksgiving night, bringing their now 9-3 record into Thursday night's huge showdown with the Detroit Lions. Here's head coach Matt LaFleur.
And it's not just those two guys. I think really, I just love the mentality of our football team. Our guys, they strain for one another, they fight, they block, and they try to inflict pain, which as a coach you'd love to see.
Packers, Lions in Detroit on Thursday night. That one a 7:15 kickoff.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today. UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
Hi, this is Dennis Semrau from Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania here on 100.5 ESPN. We're very excited to partner with UW Credit Union to help bring you even closer to the stories of great young student athletes. Each week, as part of this season of Prep Mania, will feature the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. UW Credit Union is proud to support local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. And just like the fantastic student athletes we'll be telling you about all season, UW Credit Union's online banking also goes above and beyond with top-rated service and security that exceeds industry standards. UW Credit Union is here for you, presenting the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week. Learn more at uwcu.org.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Nortman.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go Badgers!
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondell.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is.
Gordon again. What a performance by Melvin Gordon.
And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers. Camp Randall lets it roar.
An unrivaled fan base, the best college sports town in the world. This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. When needed to refresh on game day, choose a beer as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, fired up for an 11 a.m. Black Friday kickoff on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Also fired up for Edmond playing the now or then game on The Price is Right on CBS, which is the channel the Badgers game will be on. So we're pre-gaming with The Price is Right here in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison.
It's good to see Price is Right remains innovative. I don't remember this game growing up. Now or then, brilliant.
Is the price from 2010 or now? You were asking about inflation? This is how The Price is Right counters inflation. It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
What a time with The Price is Right and Drew Carey, an underrated game show host. I hope everyone thinks we're underrated too, Brad.
Oh, yeah,
as we
me
host
too.
this
That'd
show.
be lovely.
Countdown to kickoff. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, producer Hunter Vaughn in the Everlight Solar Studio because it's too dang cold for us to be out on Regent Street with our equipment. So we're in the Everlight Solar Studio taking you up to kickoff. I hope the game day atmosphere is picking up downtown. It was a little lackadaisical about 2 hours ago as I was driving around, but holiday yesterday, Black Friday, early kickoff today. I'm thinking the people are out in full force as this gets to be more of an electric atmosphere for a rivalry game. Axe Week. Axe Day, Wisconsin, Minnesota. The Badgers trying to extend the nation's third longest active bowl streak. They have not missed a bowl game since the 2001 season. We will see if Wisconsin's able to continue that streak, get to its sixth win, and secure a bowl bid here in 2024. Brad, it's cold. So one factor we have not yet talked about here on this pregame show is the weather. It snowed overnight, flurries into this morning, still a little bit of flurries going on outside as you drive around downtown Madison here this morning. When you're a fan like me, and I go to a Packers game like last night, and you bundle up and you prepare for tailgating. You go out this morning on Regent Street, you prepare for tailgating. The fan experience in the cold is relatively the same, whether you're at a high school game, a college game, or a pro game. You're doing, like, you're bundling up, you're having your Coors Lights, you're doing your thing. You played both professionally and in college, and you played in some cold games and some very warm games, playing down in Jacksonville. What is it like for a college football player preparing to play a snow game or at least a very cold game in a feels like single-digit temperature atmosphere like the teams are today?
Well, it's a challenge for sure. It's at the forefront of your mind to try to figure out how can I stay warm, how can I stay fresh, how can I be and play like my normal self, even though anybody that's listening can feel how when it's this cold, it affects you physically. So that's one thing. But the other thing, too, is actually how it plays out in the game. Because the coldest game I ever played in college was, ironically, against Minnesota at home. My freshman year, I think it was our second to last game of the season or something like that. It was like maybe high 20s. It was a 2:30 game, snow flurries by the end of it. When it's really cold, so that this game is much colder than that game was, particularly in college, it affects the quarterbacks more. Why is that? Because when you're in the pros, and I played in some really cold games in the pros, the arm strength is strong enough that you can throw through, wind, you can throw through cold. These guys are so good, they're so professional. Timing isn't as disrupted with quarterback receiver. But when it comes to college, like Braden Locke and Brosmer, the quarterback for Minnesota, like they're quality, but they don't have rifling strong arms. Timing of receivers will be just a little bit off. So it'll be harder to throw the football today. 15-mile-an-hour plus winds. It's cold. It's stiff. The ball grip isn't as good. So I suspect that the pass games for both teams will be tampered a little bit, which actually benefits the Wisconsin Badgers because they're naturally a worse throwing team than Minnesota. So it's going to focus more on running the football. And if you neutralize that for the Minnesota offense, make them run the ball more, I think that actually benefits the Wisconsin defense. So to me, that's where it's going to really come out is in the passing game. We even saw it a little bit last night in the Green Bay Packer game. That Dolphin team is high octane. They are fast. They are explosive. They didn't particularly look like that last night, especially when it gets cold. So that's how it's going to play out, particularly on offense for both teams, which I think benefits Wisconsin. But, man, it's a distraction. There's nothing fun about it. I think I would always get this thing.
There's nothing fun about it, he says.
There's nothing fun about it. When I went down to Carolina and Jacksonville, and I was preparing for a cold game. Ironically, the coldest game I ever played in was when Minnesota Vikings were building their stadium. For 2 years, they played at TCF Bank Stadium. So my coldest game ever in my career at any point was played at University of Minnesota Stadium. It was like 10 degrees with wind chill. It was -5, and it was the Sunday after Thanksgiving, ironically. So this is weirdly coming back. It was brutally cold. We had 2 major breakdowns on punt team, 2 punt blocks, 2, because guy came free basically both times. Not my fault. Not my fault.
Not on you.
Put on
for
the protection.
Sure, not on Brad.
But I would go down and play in the South and preparing for cold games. Everyone in the South would be like, "Oh, you must love playing in cold games, being from the North." And I'm like, no. Nobody enjoys it. There's nothing fun about it. So just like all the fans probably can't wait to go home and take a cold shower, players are feeling that as well. A warm shower.
A warm shower. Yeah, get in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Which you might win in the Showcase Showdown on The Price is Right as lead up to kickoff here.
How about that? 95 cents. That's pretty good.
That's a solid spin for Edmund there. It's a nice spin on the Showcase here. We're watching the Price is Right, by the way, because the game is on CBS coming up at 11, and the Price is Right, unlike like when you have the 11 a.m. kickoff on ESPN and you get like Corso's headgear pick leading into it, we're going to get Drew Carey and the Showcase Showdown as the final thing we see before Wisconsin, Minnesota on CBS today on television, which is amazing.
I'm telling you, when you told me that Price is Right is going to lead into the Badger game, I'm like, that's kind of a bummer. But now that I'm seeing it, this brings more juice than a pregame.
Yes! This is amazing.
You pair our pregame with Price is Right on mute in the background. Boy, I'm getting juice for this game now.
Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. Also brought to you by Carbon World Health, your complete solution for fitness, health, and beauty. Their cutting-edge science and impeccable service is unlike anything you've ever experienced. Redefine limitation with their state-of-the-art fitness facility and med spa. Visit carbonworldhealth.com for more information. Good call, bad call. It's kind of like Plinko if you think about it. That's coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Kringle, all I want for Christmas is you.
Dad!
What?
We talked about this. Yeah, your jingle for your Kringle entry last year was so lame that Racine Danish Kringle banned you from their contest.
I thought it was only a one holiday season ban.
It was a lifetime ban.
Well, I guess I'm out, but here's how you can enter our ESPN Wisconsin Racine Danish Kringle Jingle for Your Kringle contest on Wilde Township. Submit your own original jingle to ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Then we'll pick the most creative songs, and our grand prize winner will get Kringle for a year. Make sure you include Racine Danish Kringle. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition in your jingle. If you don't want to sing, but you still want to celebrate the holidays with Racine Danish Kringle, call 800-4DANISH or visit Kringle.com and order their all-new Eggnog Holiday Kringle.
Racine Danish Kringle, such a tasty, yummy treat. With a flaky crust and sweet icing, it's the best thing you can eat.
Oh, like that's so much better than mine.
Well, at least we're not off-key.
Craft your Brewers mini plan for the 2025 season, featuring all new 6-packs and 12-packs. Get in on the action with great ticket rates, marquee matchups, and priority seating. Plus, you'll get a limited edition Brewers Crowler with each 12-pack or pair of 6-packs. Looking to customize your games to fit your schedule? Build your own ticket plan options are also available. Pick the plan for you at brewers.com/ticket finder.
The Jones family has its rules, just like any other family. Only difference is, ours are about making the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage you can buy. One of our rules, we only use all natural ingredients. It's a mandate we've followed since the 1840s, and we'll continue to do so for generations to come. Right here in Fort Atkinson. I'm Philip Jones. To learn more about the rules that make sure my family provides your family with the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage, visit jonesdairyfarm.com.
It's Rivalry Week in college football. Heated rivals go head-to-head at the Los Angeles Coliseum when USC faces Notre Dame. Coverage begins Saturday at 3 Eastern, with kickoff at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app, presented by Dr. Pepper.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison YouTube channels, and Wisconsin On Demand. In the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison, Jesse Nelson with former Badgers punter Brad Nortman. You hear him on Kyle Bruston Nortman weekday afternoons 2 to 5 on ESPN Milwaukee, 2 to 4 on ESPN Beaver Dam in Madison. Hunter Vaughn is our producer here in the Everlight Solar Studio. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay brought to you in part by Pepsi. Enjoy Pepsi, a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. You can be just like Wisconsin football star Hunter Wohler, who is active today, according to the official injury report. Get game day ready with Pepsi. Try Pepsi Zero Sugar, the perfect drink for your tailgate party and great to use as a tasty mixer, as I experienced on Thanksgiving Day yesterday. Pepsi Zero Sugar, great mixer for some of your holiday beverages of choice, whether it's Thanksgiving, the upcoming holidays, or whatever you want to celebrate with. Maybe game day is a holiday to you. Either way, enjoy it with Pepsi. Let's play a little good call, bad call. Hunter Vaughn, take it away.
Fans of the show that's normally on at this time, Wildy and Tausch, know that I like to bring some
very well-produced show. Very well-produced.
From time to time when there's a fill-in.
Hey!
They know that I like to play blind resume with the guys hosting that show. So I have a college football blind resume for the two of you. And I want you to tell me which running back you would rather have between these two stats. Okay. Running back A played 13 games, had 339 carries, 1,986 yards, 23 rushing touchdowns, averaged 152.8 yards a game.
It's a lot of yards. A lot of yards. 153 a game.
Yeah, well, running back B in 11 games, 275 carries, 2,062 yards, 27 touchdowns, 187.5 yards per game.
Wow.
All right, he's trying to be tricky. You know that.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, like, oh, running back B is way better than running back A. Look at all the statistical measurements that you have to look at.
Am I?
I don't know what the, what do you think his intent is here with this?
Yeah, so one played, it sounds like running back A might be a former player of some kind, already playing a full season. Running back B is some current player who's obviously racking up stats. That might be Gentry from Boise State.
He is a big Ashton Genty guy. Hunter, big Genty guy.
It's Genty, not Gentry.
Genty.
Okay.
Jeanty. As the resident Boise State fan of the panel,
yes.
I can confirm that. I've watched at least one of their games this year.
I can't argue with the production, though, of running back B. I mean, beating in each statistical category and...
You know what he's going to do? I see what he's doing. I think running back A is going to be Ron Dane, and I think running back B is going to be Ashton Genty, because Hunter's trying to prove that Genty should win the Heisman this year. That's what I think he's doing. Hunter, what do we got?
Deep psychology.
You're very close. I pulled this from a post on another website. But running back A was 2015 Derrick Henry, who won the Heisman.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Right, yep.
So Ashton Genty is B.
Yeah,
Ashton Genty should win the Heisman.
Good call,
about
Brad.
that?
Good call.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he's blowing Derrick Henry's stats out of the water.
Yep. So if he played at a power conference school, this wouldn't even be a conversation. But because he's at the Mountain West, everybody wants to dismiss him.
Is the question that everyone's asking, though, could he have the same production in the SEC?
That is one of the arguments for why he would not be the Heisman favorite, I would say, at this point, is that he's doing this against 2-9 Wyoming and 3-8 Nevada.
And they ignore that he did even better against Oregon at Oregon early in the year.
Who's the Heisman favorite? Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty are
Dylan
both in the mix. Dylan Gabriel, I think people forgot because they had a bye last week.
I'm kind of loving the non-QBs.
This would be the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no runaway quarterback, and I mean between Genty and Travis Hunter, I mean that's special. That is real special.
Yeah, both having a great year.
Yep. One last one here so we can try and get back on the clock.
It's overrated.
The offensive coordinator job was officially posted this week by the University of Wisconsin. Because it's a state job, it has to be posted for a minimum of 24 hours.
Brad, you applying?
I might just throw my hand in there. I got some things in the hopper that I could put on the field.
Might have tried to submit some of my college football 25 video game highlights.
That's your tape?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, I literally put it on tape. I've won 5 straight national titles at Wisconsin. Like, come on, give me the job. Good call, bad call. We will know who the new OC is by Sunday night, and that this is being posted is just a formality that they have to do.
I'm going to say bad call just with the specifics of the statement. I think that the job being posted on Wednesday, I think by next Sunday we're going to have. I think this Sunday being only open for 5 days, it just feels too quick. I think that Fickell knows the gravity of this decision, probably wants to take his time, make sure that he gets an opportunity to interview everyone. That might even mean some NFL guys. That might mean some other guys that are going deeper into college football. So to do it that quickly, I just don't. I don't see him doing it that fast unless, like we kind of talked about off air, Hunter, where somebody is already in mind and they're zeroing in on it already.
Yeah, that's what I think is happening here.
I think they are going to announce this next week. So I'm going to say bad call. We will not know by Sunday night. I think what we're going to know by Sunday night are all the players transferring. I think we'll know, whether there's seniors or juniors with another year of eligibility that want to pursue other opportunities. I wouldn't be surprised if Braden Locken enters the transfer portal, knowing that Carter Smith is coming to town next year and likely, as a true freshman, could be the starting quarterback at Wisconsin. How active they've been in the quarterback transfer portal each of the last 2 years with Fickell. I think we'll know a lot of the transfer portal situation by Sunday evening, and because of that, I think we'll wait to find out the offensive coordinator until early next week or next week around the conference championships, I think is when we'll hear that news. So I'm going to say bad call on the coordinator this weekend.
Real quick, would any transfer break your heart? If you're like, oh no, they're transferring.
No.
I don't think so either. It says a lot about the team.
Will Pauling, does he even have, no, he's a senior. He doesn't have another.
Yeah,
Vinny Anthony maybe?
I was going to say Vinny Anthony or Dupree.
Yeah,
Dupree showed glimpses this year.
Or Lucas. Xavier Lucas. That would be
Xavier Lucas is right now. I'm a big fan of his.
There have been some great players, but there's nobody that I've grown a direct affinity toward, like Hunter Wohler 2 years ago. Yeah. Knowing the highly touted recruit he was, if he had entered the transfer, I would have been devastated if he hadn't stayed at Wisconsin. Everybody else here on this team this year, it's
disposable.
Reset time. It's reset time. Yeah, I don't like talking about people that way. But this is the opportunity for Luke Fickell, for the Wisconsin football program. You've made a change at offensive coordinator. You're probably going to make a change at quarterback in the offseason. This is the reset. If you were looking to say, okay, the first 2 years obviously have not lived up to expectations. Let's hit the reset button. This is your one chance to start the game over. And this is the opportunity, if you're going to make any changes at any position, philosophically, personnel, whatever it is, after today, keep the bowl streak alive, win the axe, get the victory. This is important more for Fickell than it is for the players on the field, I think, to win this game today. And then hit that reset button. And if you can still say, even Wisconsin, we had 2 down years in the first 2 years that Luke Fickell took over, but both of those years still made bowl games, still won the axe. That's something you can continue to say proudly, that even though those were the 2 most bleh years of Wisconsin football that we've experienced in the last 3 decades, we still made a bowl game. We still won our rivalry game. We still kept the thing on the tracks well enough that we were able to sort it out and figure out where the program was moving forward. That would still be a significant development from today's game. So that's my stance on that.
That I could at least have a little bit of solace entering the postseason that when it feels like the sky is falling from this football program, you're right. I think having a solid, indestructible floor for Wisconsin football is good. And that floor feels like 500, go to a bowl game, and you at least win one of your rivalry games, and if you're going to pick one, it would be this one.
Yeah, we're right now hanging on like a trap door opened at the floor, and we're hanging on to the side of it no, we're still good. We cannot fall below that floor. We're right there.
Please don't.
It's close going into this game today. 11 a.m. kickoff, Wisconsin, Minnesota at a cold Camp Randall Stadium. That's good call or bad call on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, producer Hunter Vaughn. After the game today, we will play Flush It or Flesh It, presented by the Gordon Flesh Company. Also sounds like it could be a fun Price is Right game as we tailgate with the Price is Right on CBS leading up to kickoff. For more than 65 years, Gordon Flesh Company has been providing cutting-edge technology for companies of all sizes as the nation's largest Canon and Lexmark dealer. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more about the Gordon Flesh Company. We'll get to our Pepsi picks coming up next. It's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay Black Friday edition, presented by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Black Friday is Cash Friday at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. On Friday, November 29th, starting at 5 p.m., 18 winners will each take home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500 in our Cash Friday promotion. And at 8 p.m., one winner will take home the $40,000 grand prize. Plus, November 29th is Ho Chunk Day, and we're celebrating by giving the first 500 guests visiting our Rewards Club booth $25 in rewards play. Cash Friday is a holiday tradition at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Your warehouse concrete floors see a lot of traffic. Uneven, sinking, or cracked concrete can pose a serious threat to any business operation. From trip hazards to cracked foundations, sinking concrete can keep any business owner up at night. Concrete Lifting Technologies is here to help. Concrete Lifting Technologies can even out that concrete floor to prevent these hazards. They can level your warehouse floor within a few hours and don't even need to shut down your operations. Visit itaintmudjack.com to get a free quote today. That's itaintmudjack.com.
November savings are stirring at Metro Kia of Madison. The 2024 Kia Sportage is available with 0% APR financing for 48 months, $20.83 per thousand borrowed. You can also check out the 2024 Kia Sorento at 0% APR financing for 48 months, $20.83 cost per thousand. Browse their inventory at MetroKiaMadison.com. That's MetroKiaMadison.com, and hurry into Metro Kia Madison today before these November savings fall away.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Talk Badger sports year-round with the Jump Around podcast.
I love the fact that, you're asking Melvin Gordon, you're asking James Wright, right? Some guys that are absolutely phenomenal.
Tune in for the Top Badgers conversations every week, featuring special guests with Wisconsin players, coaches, and more.
Coach Bo Ryan famously told me I was the worst defensive player that he's ever seen in his 30 years of coaching.
The Jump Around, brought to you by GameDay Men's Health Middleton. Streaming live every Thursday on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and available wherever you get your podcasts.
This week on Football Sunday on ESPN Radio, Justin Herbert leads the Los Angeles Chargers into Atlanta to face the NFC South leading Falcons.
This is gone for the Atlanta touchdown.
Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern, with kickoff at 1 Eastern on select ESPN radio stations.
From LA to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
What is up, Wisconsin? I'm Hunter Vaughn. We start with a pair of big games in the Big Ten kicking off today at 11 o'clock. Of course, your Wisconsin Badgers look to stay bowl eligible or get to bowl eligibility with a 6th win on the season as they host the Minnesota Golden Gophers. If you partake, ESPN Bet has the Wisconsin Badgers as 1-point favorites in that one. And then also in the Big Ten, kicking off at 6:30 is Nebraska at Iowa from Kinnick Stadium. The Hawkeyes at 7-4 on the season. Iowa 3-point favorites in that one. The rest of the Big Ten will play on Saturday. 11 o'clock is Michigan at Ohio State. Then you have Illinois at Northwestern. 2:30, I don't know if it's a rivalry game, but Maryland is on the road at Penn State. And then also at 2:30, this one definitely a rivalry game. Number 5, Notre Dame at USC as they battle for the jeweled shillelagh. Then at 2:30 is Rutgers at Michigan State. And UCLA, they play a non-conference game to close out the season. They host Fresno State at 2:30 on the Big Ten Network. Purdue is at Indiana at 6, and then at 6:30 is Washington at Oregon.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
The jeweled what?
The jeweled shillelagh.
What is that?
No idea, but that's what they play for.
And who plays for that?
That is USC and Notre Dame.
Ah.
Yeah, that I've talked a lot about this on this program before, but Notre Dame has a lot of weird West Coast rivalries with like Stanford and that.
Yeah,
because back in like the 40s, nobody in the Midwest wanted to play them, so they would take train rides out to play these teams on the coasts. Hence why they have a rivalry even with like Boston College, and now that's why they have a big national fan base because Newt Rockne would make stops along the way.
Recruiting.
And
they
then,
go out to California every November
Exactly.
for recruiting.
Yep. So now they have a trophy game and they battle for a jeweled shillelagh.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay pulling out all the stops for the regular season finale. Brewed by Coors Light. Jesse Nelson, Brad Nortman, producer Hunter Vaughn telling you about the jeweled shillelagh for USC and Notre Dame. A game you can hear, by the way, on ESPN Radio tomorrow here on ESPN Wisconsin. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brought to you in part by Everlight Solar. We are broadcasting, by the way, today live from the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison because it's too cold for us to be out on Regent Street. Save money and help save the planet. Ditch the energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Let's now get to our Pepsi picks ahead of this final college football week of the regular season.
I mentioned the jeweled shillelagh, and that's the game that we're going to start with.
Of course it is.
Number 5, Notre Dame at USC in the Coliseum. The Fighting Irish are 7.5-point favorites, according to ESPN Bet.
I look at this game and I think about the time zones that have been tripping up the Big Ten. I don't feel like that applies to Notre Dame. They are used to these coastal battles. They have a lot to play for. They have a quality team. USC has just been a big dud all year, right? They had these high expectations. They have all these prolific guys, but they haven't put it together. They look fairly soft. I think I'm going to take Notre Dame. I think they win by double digits out there in LA.
I agree. Notre Dame big in this one. USC stinks. They got one foot out the door. A lot of their players already looking for new opportunities. So give me Notre Dame big. They're playing for a trip to the college football playoff. Everyone forgets about Notre Dame because they lost that game to Northern Illinois in week 2, and it's like, oh, they're no good. They're the 5th-ranked team in the country. They're definitely going to be in this thing. So Notre Dame big.
Yeah, I think this one gets ugly late. And then we'll just do a second one. We'll go to the state of Texas. The rivalry's back. Number 3, Texas at number 20, Texas A&M. The Longhorns, 5.5-point road favorites.
That feels like a big, big favorite to me. I think Texas gets the win, but I see this being like a 3-point game, a 1-point game. I think it's going to be very tight. I think Texas gets the win in a very hard place to play in Texas A&M. But boy, oh boy, 5.5 points. I got Texas A&M covering that spread.
First time since 2011 these two teams are playing.
Ooh.
Used to be a great rivalry.
I like that.
Would be better if they played it at 11 a.m. on Black Friday as opposed to 6:30 on Saturday night of Thanksgiving weekend, my personal opinion. Give me Texas. Similar to the Notre Dame thing, Texas A&M, I think just their trip up against Auburn last week has me feeling like that ain't it. So give me Texas. berth in the SEC championship game. I feel when it comes down to two teams who haven't played in forever, who's more excited to play the game and who's going to come out a little timid and nervous? Texas, to me, feels like they want that game going on the road, hostile environment. Texas A&M, they're the little brother. I don't know if they want it as bad as Texas does this time around.
One last special one for the broadcast on TV today of the Wisconsin-Minnesota game. Over under 4.5 shots of a thermometer on the field at Camp Randall Stadium.
You know they're opening with one right away.
That's a quick one already.
Halftime, they're probably going to do a report on how cold it is.
A couple times just to fill airtime. They're going to show the guys in the big cloaks and sitting by the heaters.
Yeah,
4.5 is the line.
I'm going to put it at 4.5.
I'm going to go under. I got 3 to 4. Man, to show it 5 times,
it's a lot of
more
thermometer.
Than once per quarter.
I think you got to be sub-zero to think about showing the thermometer that much. I'd go over under 4.5 shirtless fans at Camp Randall Stadium that they show on TV.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And that's also tough.
It is tough.
This game has the potential to be one of the coldest games since like the 60s at Camp Randall.
Really?
So I think they're going to be bringing that up a lot, and that's why I set it so high, because this isn't normal for the Big Ten to have games like this.
I think they'll show the bundled up I think Brad's right. They'll show the bundled up fans, but not as much the thermometer. We don't need the love of the thermometer.
Yeah, if it was temperature mentions, I think it goes over 4.5. So, but the broadcast or showing up a thermometer, like, oh, that hit's gotta hurt, especially when it's this cold outside. I think you got over 4.5 on that.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, and it is brought to you by Pepsi. Those are your Pepsi picks for our final show of the regular season. Enjoy Pepsi, a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. You can be just like Wisconsin football star Hunter Wohler and get game day ready with Pepsi. Try Pepsi Zero Sugar. Again, it's a perfect drink for your tailgate party and great to use as a tasty mixer. Pepsi, proud partner of ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Only one thing left to do on Black Friday as we count down to kickoff of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and that is for us to share our predictions. Who claims the axe? Badgers, Gophers, our official predictions next on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Come see what the buzz is all about at Madison Axe, Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Enjoy 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard with 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Perfect for date night, groups, corporate meetings, or private events. Madison Axe is your destination for all things fun. Throw it, nail it, celebrate. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
With the holidays around the corner, why not check the Badger fan in your life off the list early? Take advantage of Black Friday deals on Badger tickets and give the gift of an unforgettable experience with discounts on Badger men's and women's basketball, hockey, and wrestling tickets, and a winter full of exciting home matchups. There's something for every Badger fan. Visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS to explore all the Badger Black Friday deals and to secure your seats. uwbadgers.com or 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Gold medalist and ESPN Madison foodie Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Metcalf's Market. As a proud Wisconsinite, you know I support local, and it doesn't get more local than fourth-generation, family-operated Metcalf's Market. Renowned for offering an extensive selection of local and premium quality foods, it's the best place to shop for me and my family. Where family tradition meets commitment to quality, sustainability, and supporting local communities, head to one of their locations today in Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or Wauwatosa. Metcalf's Market. Bring local home.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
The College Football Playoff on ESPN Radio.
College Football Playoff is expanding to 12 teams.
Touchdown! Unbelievable! The College Football Playoff, Round 1, December 20th and 21st on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Oh, he fumbled it. It's blocked! Unbelievably! Wisconsin with a chance to pounce!
Great moments of Wisconsin, Minnesota lore. Brad Nortman, Jesse Nelson with the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. Getting ready to make our official game picks in the battle for the axe. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day brought to you by Starion Bank. Experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona, and learn more online at starionbank.com. Before we get to your pick, Brad, what was your best Minnesota-Wisconsin memory of the games you participated in?
Oh, boy. I mean, honestly, they were unmemorable because we just won each time, right? I mean,
crushed them every time.
We went 4-0, and I don't remember the games being like we didn't throttle them by 40, but they were always handled victories, twice here, twice there. I guess one moment I know specifically was, so I was committed to Minnesota for a minute, and when I decommitted, it really angered, the coach Brewster at the time. Yeah. Uh-huh. So the very first punt of the game, when I was a true freshman playing here at Camp Randall, he sent an all-out blitz, an all-out punt block.
Yeah.
And you bet I got that ball off and rifled the missile. So that was a good moment
all
of
right,
being
we'll take it.
yeah, okay. One little mini moment of, all right, bring the house. I'll bomb it away, Coach Brewster.
All right, so it all comes down to this. Wisconsin looking to extend the nation's third longest active bowl streak. They've dropped 4 in a row, haven't won in what feels like a month and a half. Can Wisconsin get it done on Black Friday and get that bowl eligibility and maintain Paul Bunyan's axe?
Well, and I believe, normal host on the show, Adam Mertz, said losing 5 straight would be the longest losing streak since 1991. I think he did text us in that. So that would be, look, Minnesota is the better team. They've got better talent. They have more momentum. They have more belief. But I just cannot find it in myself to pick Minnesota. I just think Wisconsin will have to play better than what their product on the field has been lately. That's obvious. But I just think that there's no way that Coach Fickell and these players do not rise to the occasion to actually go extend the bowl streak, get the axe. It would just be such an embarrassing nightmare for this team to lose bowl eligibility and the axe in this fashion. So I do not think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be 17-14 in an ugly game, but Wisconsin's going to pull out the victory, and I hope we're talking in 3.5 hours celebrating the axe and bowl eligibility once again.
17-14. That's my official score
No
prediction,
way.
too. Wow.
How about it, Jesse
We're
Nelson?
on the same page today. Molly Brown of Jim, Matt, and Molly also picking 17-14 in our official predictions. I think Wisconsin wins. The home games this year when Wisconsin has needed it most, Penn State, Oregon, they've risen to the occasion and played well. They just didn't finish in the second half against really good teams. Minnesota, not nearly as good as those teams. Alabama, with the Tyler Van Dyke injury on the first drive, changed the entire trajectory of that game. But they look good on the opening drive of that one as well. So road games following big losses against top teams has been when Wisconsin has struggled this year with Iowa and Nebraska. I think they played just well enough to get the win and keep that streak going and win the axe for the seniors and Hunter Wohler. 17-14. Badgers win today. That's our prediction. We'll talk to you win or lose after the game at Monk's Bar and Grill in Middleton. You hope you can join us right here on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day on 100.5 ESPN, 94.5 ESPN, and the ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison YouTube channels on Wisconsin. Win that axe today, Badgers. Let's go.
November savings are happening right now at Metro.